action.
So, welcome to our virtual classroom, and since you don't have all the materials that you would usually have in a studio, I am going to give you some parameters on how to kind of make stuff up that you can use at home. So the number one thing that you're going to realize you don't have, probably already have, is an easel and how you're going to deal with that. One of the easiest ways is to set two chairs together, and then you sit on one and you use the other one as your easel. So you can use it. This is the most similar to the drawing horses that we have in the studio. Now the other thing that you guys don't have is a drawing board. Some of you might have those if you've taken other drawing classes, but since the school supplies them now, we don't require you to purchase them anymore. So one of the things that you can do is go ahead and keep your paper in the actual pad. I know I've told you that this is a major no-no and not to do it, but what we're going to do instead is we're going to take out some newsprint, and you're going to pretend like I'm ripping it out right now and being super fancy. So we're going to take out some newsprint, and you're just going to stick the sheet underneath your sheet of paper. And this is going to protect the sheet of paper. Remember, the reason why we don't draw on the pad is because it'll leave an impression in the page below it. So as long as you put that piece of newsprint in there, it will help to alleviate some of those impressions, as long as, you know, especially Michael, I know this is something you're working on, not pressing too hardly. And if you are, you can always add another sheet of newsprint. The only thing you want to be careful of is if you have like those ripped edges, which we can be famous for in newsprint, you don't want to get to the point where if you're going to draw over that it's going to kind of make a rubbing on the sheet that you're trying to draw on. So if you get to that, just make sure that you shift the page that's underneath you. One of the ways that you can avoid it is to put the newsprint underneath it this way, and then just move it to where you need it to go. So that will be one helpful way. Along with this class, you're going to notice that I'm going to do quite a few demos that will be posted, and we'll do in the live session, just like the simple demos that we would do in course. And so this is just a little makeshift way. You can also work on the ground and work up against the wall. You can also use a chair up against the wall. You can use push pins and put paper onto the wall, but this is one of those things, especially with charcoal, we know it makes a big mess, that you want to make sure that you put a large thing of paper behind it. And usually one sheet of newsprint isn't enough for that. You want to kind of wallpaper the whole thing with something. So you just want to make sure that you're protected. Sometimes it's advantageous to put something on the ground as well, like an old blanket or a, oh God, you guys are, no, I'm so famous for this, I lose my words sometimes, the drop cloth. So if we put down a drop cloth, that's another thing that you can use, but you can also just, if you have tile floors like most of us do in Florida, you can also sweep these materials up quite easily. So that is one of our first things. Everything else I can go over in class with you one-on-one, but I wanted to make sure I went over those things, and then I can answer any additional questions.